In a shocking revelation, President Donald Trump has announced the repatriation of 2 survivors from a dramatic strike on an alleged drug-carrying submarine. But is this a heroic act or a controversial move? Trump's statement has ignited debates, especially as he claims the vessel was loaded with illegal narcotics, including fentanyl. The U.S. president took to social media to reveal that the strike resulted in the deaths of 2 individuals and the capture of the 2 survivors. This incident, which occurred in the Caribbean Sea on Thursday, marks the 6th known U.S. strike on ships in the region in recent weeks. However, it is the first time survivors have been reported, adding a new layer of complexity to the story. According to official figures, at least 27 people lost their lives in the previous 5 boat strikes off the coast of Venezuela. The 2 recent survivors, initially rescued by a U.S. military helicopter, were transferred to a U.S. warship. This development has sparked international attention and raised questions about the nature of these operations. Colombian President Gustavo Petro confirmed the safe return of the Colombian national involved, expressing relief that the individual was alive and would face legal proceedings. But the situation is far from simple. Trump's aggressive stance against Venezuela's leadership, accusing them of drug trafficking, has led to escalating tensions. The U.S. president justifies these strikes as a necessary measure to combat the flow of drugs from Latin America. However, the lack of transparency regarding the targeted vessels and their occupants has raised concerns. Trump's bold statement about destroying a very large drug-carrying submarine and referring to the survivors as terrorists has not gone unnoticed, especially as he claims no U.S. military injuries. The controversy deepens when considering the UN-appointed human rights experts' view that these strikes amount to extrajudicial executions. Trump's authorization of CIA covert operations in Venezuela further complicates matters. The use of narco-subs, homemade submarines often made of fiberglass and plywood, is a growing concern for coastal nations, as they can transport large amounts of drugs undetected. But here's where it gets controversial. Are these strikes an appropriate response to the drug trade, or do they cross ethical and legal boundaries? The debate is open, and the public's opinion is divided. Some argue that Trump's actions are necessary to combat drug trafficking, while others question the lack of due process and the potential for civilian casualties. What do you think? Is this a justified war on drugs or a controversial overreach of power?